For most of North American history, wolves and coyotes were bitter enemies. If you were a coyote living 300 years ago, hearing a wolf howl at night meant one thing: run. You were small, solitary, and sharing a continent with a giant apex predator that would kill you on sight just for trespassing on its territory. Wolves ruled the deep, ancient forests of the east. Coyotes roamed the dry, open plains of the west. They did not mix, they did not cooperate, and they certainly did not mate. And yet somehow, in a bizarre twist of evolutionary fate, these two mortal enemies joined forces to create North America's newest, most adaptable superpredator, the coywolf. Today, there are millions of these hybrid canines quietly conquering eastern North America. They don't sleep in our beds or wear little birthday hats while sitting next to cakes. Instead, they are ghosting through our cities, hunting deer on suburban golf courses, navigating the railway lines of Chicago and Boston, and raising their pups in the hidden corners of New York's Central Park. But coy wolves were never planned. No conservationist sat down and said, "We should invent a hybrid canine that can survive in a modern suburb." Coy wolves were created by accident. And the strangest part is that we didn't breed them. Our war on nature forced them to create themselves. To understand how this happened, you have to imagine North America during the 19th and early 20th centuries. As European settlers expanded eastward, they cleared millions of acres of ancient forest to build farms, highways, and cities. But their main target was the gray wolf. Settlers poisoned, trapped, and shot wolves in a massive campaign of eradication, trying to civilize the wilderness. They succeeded in wiping the wolves out, but they left behind a massive, empty ecological void. Now, here is the important part. Nature abhors a vacuum. With the wolves gone, the western coyote saw an open door. They began migrating eastward, traveling easily across the newly cleared, open farmland. But as they pushed into the remaining, fragmented forests of southeastern Canada, specifically around Ontario's Algonquin Provincial Park, the colonizing coyotes met the last, desperately lonely survivors of the eastern wolves. Normally, a wolf would instantly kill a coyote, but these remaining wolves had a desperate problem. They were completely isolated, and they couldn't find other wolves to mate with. Facing genetic extinction, they did the unthinkable. They mated with the coyotes. Over generations, this desperate act of survival was filtered by evolution. Pure wolves were dying out, and pure western coyotes weren't physically built for the harsh, snow-heavy eastern forests. But the hybrids, the coy wolves, possessed a massive evolutionary advantage. They inherited the wolf's larger size, stronger jaws, and pack-hunting instincts to take down white-tailed deer, combined with the coyote's high intelligence, extreme cunning, and remarkable tolerance of human-dominated landscapes. This sounds like a myth, but modern geneticists have actually mapped their DNA, revealing a biological masterpiece. The eastern coyote, or coy wolf, is not just a simple half-and-half mix. Genomic studies show they are a highly sophisticated hybrid swarm, averaging about 60 to 65% western coyote, 25 to 30% wolf, and about 10% domestic dog. That tiny splash of dog DNA, likely picked up from farm dogs during their eastward journey, physically altered them. It gave them diverse coat colors, broader skulls, and most importantly, a drastically reduced fear of human environments. Unlike dogs, which we invited inside our homes, coy wolves chose to live alongside us in absolute secret. They adapted to us far better than we adapted to them. They learned our schedules. They know when we go to work, when our garbage routes run, and how to look both ways before crossing busy roads. They are a ghost species, living parallel to our high-tech cities, quietly keeping rodent and deer populations in check while keeping themselves completely invisible to the humans around them. But this rapid evolution also came with a cost. By wiping out the pure apex wolves of the East, we destroyed an ancient, wild lineage of the forest. The coy wolves that replaced them, while highly successful, are smaller than pure wolves, meaning they cannot fully replace them in controlling massive prey like moose, throwing deep wilderness ecosystems out of balance. Yet inside every single suburban coy wolf is the shadow of two completely different worlds: the silent, frozen pine forests of the north and the windswept, dusty plains of the West. And maybe that is why coy wolves feel so different from any other animal. We still set traps for them. We call them pests. We try to drive them away. Yet, unlike the ancient dog buried lovingly alongside humans 14,000 years ago, they do not ask for our affection. They simply watch us, adapt, and survive. It is a partnership built not on love, but on absolute resilience. All because we tried to wipe out the wolf, cleared the forests, and accidentally forced two ancient enemies to merge in the dark. And tonight, as you look out your window at the quiet suburban streets, a ghost is probably trotting past, completely unaware that our war on nature is the very reason they exist. But now, you know.